Well, welcome back to Six Cars, guys. Quite the intro there with that Senna GTR starting up. We've seen it a couple times now, but this is the second part of our LA vlog before Car Week. Now, the building behind me is absolutely crazy. So there is tons of hypercars inside we're going to check out soon. Some we've seen already and some that will be new to the channel. So without further ado, I'm going to spin the camera around. We're going to head inside this warehouse and check out what is in store for today. Now, if you haven't already, remind you guys again, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button, leave those likes and comments. It really helps, guys. Let's get right into it. So yes, there is where the Senna GTR pulled inside. Of course, we're going to head in just a second, but I should show you guys what is outside first. So after that PFS Hypercar meet, we saw a lot of these cars, and now they have returned to the warehouse for storage. But starting off with this nice Chiron Pure Sport. It's a super low-key spec, but I really like this. I think just the all black with these slight French racing blue accents, really superb on this car. You can see this little blue striping through the interior as well, the blue stitching around the seats. A great looking car, absolutely phenomenal. Nice little Huracan Sterato there with the roof rack. And obviously we got the boys over here. We got Roy, Stefan, and Nate eyeballing the Jesko Absolute, which we are going to look at in further detail right now. So the Jesko Absolute, so we did see at PFS meet, blue carbon fiber with the gold leaf accents. Just probably the best spec I would say to see on a Koenigsegg. There is a similar Agera RS, funny enough, also in the UK. I believe it's also right-hand drive too, same as this car right here. Owners post up with that nice little hat on the dashboard. But take a look at this, guys. The interior is absolutely phenomenal. It's just the same blue and gold right through. You can see the gold paddles as well just behind the steering wheel there. Just such a cool looking car, and all these little details are what really make these Koenigseggs so special. Now, of course, I mentioned before, this is the Absolute, so the attack version of this has that massive rear wing that sticks out. So yes, the Absolute gets rid of that big rear wing, replaces it with these two little shark fins. It's streamlined for the top speed. I wasn't able to point this out earlier at the PFS meet because, of course, it was really busy. You couldn't get up close to it. But these aero discs, similar to what you'd see on the Speedtail, again, all streamlined for those top speed runs. Also finished in blue carbon fiber with the gold accents. And we'll take a look at the back here too. You can see, again, the gold striping going through right to the diffuser. So every inch of this car has these little accents. Now, another thing pointed out here is, of course, the Ghost logo. Not really sure if they're real diamonds. I wouldn't put it past this because this car is just so utterly ridiculous and just unbelievable. That's really all I can say, guys. Just such a cool and special car. Great to see an Absolute out in the wild. But without further ado, I think we should head inside and check out all the cars are on store for us in there. So welcome to the Hypercar warehouse, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we saw the road legal Senna GTR rolling in. So we'll take a quick look at this now since it is right in front of us. How could we not admire this? Doesn't matter if we've seen it one or two or three times already. It never gets old. Now the door is open. You can see obviously way more extreme than the road going Senna, which is already a ridiculously over the top car. But the GTR, of course, now this one has been converted to being road legal, but obviously it being more of a track focused car, you can kind of go all out. These crazy bucket seats. Obviously, you've got the full head supports on the side there too, full carbon fiber. Good to see in the interior of there. And there we go, just a front look with the door open. Really crazy car. Now here is a road going Senna, obviously not the GTR. You can tell quite a bit different aero on this one, but definitely one of the most interesting spec Sennas that you will see anywhere. There's a lot of Gulf accents, as you can see, with the blue and the orange, but interestingly enough, there is a lot of fade to the orange accents on this car. You can see at the front here. Best way I can describe is almost like the colors of a sunrise. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they were going for. That's kind of what it reminds me of. The other interesting part is that it's not just blue and orange. You can see obviously the exposed carbon fiber accents along the front, but there is bright orange calipers against like chrome wheels. But here's the most interesting part. Is the bottom half of the car, it's got a two-tone effect. It's finished in brown. So a lot of colors going on here, but honestly, I think it kind of works. It's very contrasting, but I think it does really suit this car. You see it in different lights. The brown really pops from the back here, and just such a cool spec. we have a 2005 version Ford GT here, another one. We've seen quite a few of these in the last 24 hours here in Southern California. This is a more traditional spec. Again, we've seen some modified ones, but the red with the white stripes, pretty iconic on this car. Always loved it in the spec. Good to see that. And then there's quite a few Paganis here. So we've got a standard Huayra BC, which I know saying standard for a Huayra BC is kind of crazy because it is a wild looking car, but I do love the spec on it, the white, the exposed carbon fiber with the blue accents. But then over here, we have another Huayra BC, which is actually featuring the Tempesta package. So if you see the Tempesta on the Huayra Coupes and the Huayra Roadsters, you can obviously tell there's a bit different aero, and it's the same for this Huayra BC. So it's cool you can get the Tempesta package on pretty much any variation of the standard Huayras, whether it's the Coupe, the Roadsters, or the BCs. So it adds a bit more to the front. And again, I do love the spec on this with the painted blue accents over the exposed carbon fiber. And you can actually see there's like black and gray carbon. So it's a bit of a two-tone effect. Looks really good. The blue accents go all the way through to the interior on this car as well. So you can see sort of featured on the seats a bit dark here. You can also see it around the center console too. Really nice. My favorite part of the Tempesta package on the BC is just adding these little intakes on the sides here, just behind that roof snorkel. It's so aggressive, looks absolutely phenomenal. And you also get this nice little shark fin at the back too, compared to the standard Huayra BC, which does not have that feature. But again, just such a cool looking car. A bit more additions at the back as well. Great to see a Tempesta here. Now we have another Senna here, which we did see before as well, with the full exposed carbon fiber and the yellow accents. Great looking car there. But this Huayra is incredibly special. It's a one of one. It's the Huayra BC Machina Volante. So it's got a lot of unique touches to it, you'll see, compared to the other Huayra BCs that we saw over there. One of the big things for me on this car, well, actually the rear wing is completely different to the other Huayra BC. So it's really cool to see that. It's got a bit more aggressiveness at the edges, but very obviously exposed carbon fiber, as you would expect on these Huayras. But I quite love these side intakes here just over the rear wheel arches as well. Very reminiscent of the Zonda Cinque that we saw earlier. And then inside, take a look at this. A lovely, lovely plaid pattern on the seats. You've also got the tricolore stripes going through the middle as well. You even got like a small luggage compartment here featuring that same plaid pattern just behind the seat there. Very tight squeeze, but it's cool. You can see obviously just how wild you can go with these Paganis on every little detail. Of course, a big thing with the Huayras too is that exposed shifter linkage there. You can also see the blue accents around the center console as well, the blue door handles. So many cool little parts on this car. We'll take a look at the back here too of the Machina Volante BC. And again, the gold wheels against the blue carbon fiber is just such a good look for this car. We have the exposed carbon fiber CCX here as well. And interesting enough on this one, it does have that rear wing, which is reminiscent of the CCX R edition, but this does not have the CCXR designation. So this is very much, I would say, a one-off CCX, but it looks great with the full exposed carbon fiber. Of course, it's got these signature full carbon fiber wheels that Koenigsegg is very well known for as well. But interestingly enough, I do really like these clean silver and red accents to go all around the car. I think it really suits the CCX. I think it's a very period correct spec as well. You've got the red seats too, of course, matching those exterior red accents too, even wrapping it just around the small glass portion of the detachable roof. So again, every single little accent and detail is recognized on these Koenigseggs. Great to see that. We also have the white 918 over here as well. We saw back at the event. You get another look at that. Of course, it's got those interesting like windmill style wheels. It's got the acid green brake calipers, which are a fantastic touch. But again, one of my favorite parts about this car is this nice two-tone white and red interior. Looks so good, very classy. And then in its own little special room over here is probably my favorite car in this building because it is so unique and so rare, the Gumpert Apollo. So we've seen the Apollo IE, which is sort of the new variation of the new version of this company, but the Gumpert Apollo is just such a unique and cool car. I think this really gained a lot of international fame when it featured on Top Gear. It's also in some old Forza Motorsport games, but it's just such an aggressive looking car. And you can see obviously the massive rear diffuser, and I do like how the exhaust is exposed at the back as well. It's an extremely aggressive car. And as cool as the back is, I've always loved the front of these cars, and it's a really unique sound you get out of them too. I believe it is the Audi 4.2 liter. It's a twin turbo, but this aggressiveness from the front, and you can just see how wide the wheel arches are too, and this is probably the best way to tell. It's almost like a Le Mans prototype, just how big the sides of the car are and just how much you have to step over just to get inside the Gumpert. But have a look at the interior here. I think it's a griffin. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's some sort of mythical creature that they use for the logo, but it's really cool how they implemented them right into the seats. You've got the Schroff harnesses as well, fully detachable steering wheel, of course, and I just love that massive shifter on the side. It's a very bare bones interior, but that's really all you need in a car like this. You just want to go fast and have the most fun possible, and I do love the gullwing doors, of course, too. And I think orange probably suits this car the best. I would say probably the best color for the Gumpert Apollo, but really, really cool. We get to see such a rare and unique car up close. And the other thing I do want to show you guys here, if you actually look at the plaque on the side, just so you can see how rare it is. Man, it's really hard to see actually in the light, but there is designation down here saying number 1 of 10 for the year 2008 for all production. So really, really nice to see an Apollo up close like this. If the cars weren't cool enough for you guys, give a quick shout out to the bikes too. These kind of look like MotoGP bikes, to be honest. We have an Aprilia and a Ducati. My bike knowledge is not the best, but I do appreciate a very good looking motorcycle, and these just look phenomenal. You can only imagine how fun it would be to ride these things too, but really cool to see those. The cool thing I did want to show you guys in this room is we have a full Bugatti W16 engine here on display, which I don't know if there's too many people in the world that can say in their warehouse full of hypercars they just have a full Bugatti W16 sitting on display. It's so cool to be able to see this exposed and out of the car and to see all of the tiny little parts here of one of the best and most historical and most important engines in the history of cars. I mean, this has just been through so many amazing models between the Veyron and the Chiron, and it's really cool to see it up close here on display. I mean, just a very unique opportunity, obviously, to be able to see this. So I hope you guys are enjoying the access we do have today. The 918 being a hybrid, rolling in E mode, no point in starting it up in here, just rearrange the cars. But as you guys saw earlier, putting all the Sennas together now, which is pretty cool, the Senna GTR and the 2 road going Sennas there. Interested to know actually which one you guys prefer, more of a, I guess, a low-key spec with the exposed carbon and the yellow accents, or the one that's got a ton of colors going on with it, with the brown, the orange, the blue, the exposed carbon, just a ton going on with that one. It's really cool. All right, guys, there is a back room as well. You can see just the edge of the Senna sticking out there through the door. In the back room, though, there are some interesting cars. Of course, the 430 Scuderia. This one over here is not a McLaren 620R. It is the MSO X. So this car was exclusive to McLaren Newport Beach at the time. It was essentially a road-going 570S GT4. They only made 10 of them, and that was it. And then after, because they were popular and other people wanted them, they made the 620R. But interesting enough, only 10 made. There's one there, an orange one over there, rather. You've got the blue and orange one here. So 3 of the 10 ever made sitting in this room. And there are some other cool builds in here. I'll show you guys all of the interesting cars right now. So a very nice AMG GT Black Series here, which obviously a very extreme car, but it is nothing compared to some of the custom cars that we have on display here. Interestingly enough, all of the muscle cars here are right-hand drive. So I'm not sure if maybe they are Holdens or maybe they've just been converted to right-hand drive. I'm not really sure, but they are all extremely modified. I mean, just look at the hood mechanism on this thing and how it opens up. This is something that you would likely see at SEMA, but everything is just in immaculate condition too on these engine bays with the big block V8s. And we've got a more traditional lead sled hot rod over here too with the massive blower on top. Always interesting to see those. not even the biggest blower in this room. There's a car over there that we'll show you guys in just a second, which is absolutely wild. Got the 992 GT3 RS here as well. Got the Revuelto, there's an STO over there. We have a heavily modified Nissan GTR too, which I can only imagine is a full-on drag car, because there's a lot going on with it. It's full exposed carbon fiber body as well. Obviously, the entire exterior is modified, and I can only imagine this is probably pumping out like 2,000 horsepower or something absolutely ridiculous like that. Obviously, a ton of interior modifications as well. I'd be curious to know what exactly they did to it, because yeah, I can only imagine it's very, very fast. And yeah, this one here, actually, you know what? This is the only left-hand drive muscle car in the entire room, but it's got that classic like moonshine drag racer look to it. I really love what they've done to the side here. Just these ridiculously cool bolt-on fenders, fully exposed. It's almost like a bit of a rat rod or a rust bucket, if you want to call it that, but clearly it's putting out a ridiculous amount of power with that massive engine, and the interior completely stripped out with the full roll cage in there. This is an absolute drag beast. You've got the low drag wing hanging off of the end of it too. And one of these cars that would be absolutely ridiculous to drive. And speaking of which, I told you guys, the other one was not the biggest blower in the room. This is a Clace, which it should be an Oldsmobile, but again, right-hand drive, so I don't know, maybe this is a Holden variant of that, but look at how cool it is. The black on black, extremely sinister. But this blower is by far the biggest one I have ever seen on any car. I mean, this is pretty much coming up close to my shoulders, to be honest, which is just ridiculous. So I would be very curious to know how much power is being pumped out of this car, but that is easily one of the wildest builds I've ever seen. And yeah, there we go. I was not kidding. This blower is very, very tall. As you can see, I mean, I'm standing up straight and this is almost at my shoulders. That is how ridiculous that car is, but just really cool to see all the wild builds they have in this side of the warehouse. We went from hypercars to just ridiculously cool modified dragsters, and more supercars in here too. See a nice Revuelto behind me there. So really, really interesting. We'll head back to the main room now though and see if they're going to move some more cars around, and maybe something else might show up. Let's go check it out. And look at that, there are more cars that showed up. So these ones were also at the PFS meet, but again, cool to see them out in the flesh with a lot less people around them. So we've got the white and blue Regera. It's kind of hard to see the dark blue carbon wheels in this lighting, but obviously a very good looking spec on this car. And with the roof off, you can kind of sort of see the interior as well. Actually, the latches for the detachable roof also have that nice little gold finish to them, so really good to see that. We've got the world record Agera RS there in front too, which is always good to see this car. As I mentioned previously, the actual car that did the top speed run on that Nevada highway, so very significant for Koenigsegg. And obviously such a cool video. If you guys have never watched it before, you should definitely check it out after finishing this video, of course. But yeah, it's very cool to see that one. It's parked up behind the Jesko Absolute, and there we go, a wire roadster in front as well, which is a very cool and low-key spec, to be honest. Full exposed carbon fiber around most of the car, but you can see obviously this back panel around the V12 right back to the exhaust, finished in a nice brilliant blue carbon fiber. We've got the V12 back there, and if we shift around to the front, also has the blue carbon fiber just around the hood as well. And what a sight that is. Actually, we've got the wire roadster with not one, not two, but three Koenigseggs lined up behind it outside the warehouse here. So unreal setting, guys. And again, great access here. A huge shout out to the owners for letting us back here to check out these cars and their setup. It's just absolutely wonderful what they've pulled off here. And look at this, guys, at the Beverly Wilshire. Quite the little trio of Porsches here. We got the 993 GT2, already rare enough on its own. Behind that, we do have a 993 Carrera RS and a Singer Classic study back there too. So wow, just a few $1 million at least in classic Porsches. Not at all was I was expecting to find here. I mean, that is just such a cool looking car. The RS is really good too, obviously the Singer as well. But we'll be meeting up here with some friends of the channel and checking out a couple of hypercars, which are just back there. And there is the hypercar lineup. If you guys have not seen these on the channel before, we've got the ultra rare McLaren Senna. Fun fact, if you guys play Forza Motorsport or Horizon, I think it's in both games, but this is the actual car they scanned to put the Sabre in the game, is this one right here. So very cool to see that. Got our friend's Wire Roadster back here as well. The yellow with the blue carbon fiber. Definitely one of the best spec Wire Roadsters out there. It's just super clean. Very classy look for that. We have the Chiron back here. We have the Super Sport. And I think this actually is the final Super Sport. It is the Extreme. Thank you to our friend Stefan behind us. And you guys can see the blue stripes matching the French Racing blue seats inside. Very good looking. And then behind that is a new car for the channel. We have the Pagani Utopia here, finished in a full exposed carbon fiber. Interestingly enough, it's sort of like, I believe it's green in the daylight, but it has a bit of a turquoise effect at night. So we've seen a couple of Utopias on the channel. I think this would probably have to be my favorite one so far. That color is just so cool. I hope it's showing up well on the camera here, but the Utopia is just such a good looking car too. This is easily one of the nicer cars that we have seen in recent years. Pagani just going back to that analog look. You can see obviously design elements from the Zonda in there too. And this one is a manual as well. So great little hypercar lineup here at the Beverly Wilshire late at night. And good Sunday morning, everybody. Finished up at the warehouse. And there is our first spot of the day, completely random. I had no idea this was even here. A Grigio Telesto LaFerrari. So Grigio Telesto is a Lamborghini color, so it's pretty wild to see this on a Ferrari. And another cool little touch I do like is the blue brake calipers. Goes really well with this gray. But man, oh man, what a street spot. We were actually just on our way to go and get coffee because we've just woken up. It's still quite early in the day, but we were not expecting to have to make an emergency stop for I think I would imagine a one-off LaFerrari. I've never seen another one finished in a Lamborghini Grigio Telesto. That is beautiful. And then just up the road from the LaFerrari, we do have a nice GT2 RS as well. I've always preferred these in white over these like sort of like polished bronze or gold wheels. I think they've always been the best spec for this particular car. Interestingly enough though, not the only GT2 RS on this street. And there is the second one there, finished in all black. This actually does look really good. I know I do prefer the white usually on these cars, but the black does look good, especially against red accents in the interior and the yellow brake calipers. Everything just flows together very nicely on this. So yeah, wow, 2 GT2 RSs, and of course the Grigio Telesto LaFerrari to start off the morning. Just a beautiful road here, just somewhere outside of Los Angeles, but just want to pull over quickly a couple interesting cars we spot here. Get the slammed Chevy Blazer there right down to the ground. Imagine it's on the air ride suspension, but there we go. For my fellow JDM lovers, we've got the Autozam AZ1. It's parked with the gull wing doors open. Obviously it's pretty famous from all the K-car collections from the ABC. There's the Autozam, the Honda Beat, and Suzuki Cappuccino. This is probably the most valuable of the three, I would have to say. And the gull-wing door is obviously the big selling point. I do like the 5-spoke OZ Racing wheel he's got on that too. He's got the Mazda Speed rear wing on it. Really cool little find. Should also point out this really, really good looking 911 here. Obviously going for a retro racing style, especially the Martini livery. Interior wise too, quite simple but very nice, and that's exactly how you should do it with these cars. Love the duckbill at the back, but most important thing, Ontario plates. Shouts out to the fellow Canadian. And I imagine with that exhaust setup probably sounds pretty good too, but not a bad little setting here actually. The cars look fantastic just at these like little roadside stops out in the mountains here in California. Just a great sounding 996 turbo. PTS Riviera Blue 991.1 GT3 RS. Not bad.
Yeah?
I mean, I think you're in a GT3 Porsche if you didn't know.
That's amazing.
Piss off the Porsche.
Yeah. You
Me
do.
too. There goes Jay Leno, everybody, in the GTD.
First time seeing a GTD and a Jay Leno. Go further up.
We go, a little bit of BH car spotting, people. The SV. Oh, a little Beverly Hills combo, actually. A 993 Carrera RS and the 997.2 GT3 RS paint to sample. Very nice.